6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Welcome, everybody. I'm sitting here just chit-chatting with somebody. You may know him. And we were just kind of sitting here shooting the breeze. What's up, Mark?
Hey, what's up?
I figured I just asked Mark to come on and bullshit with me. Just something to do.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to clear up actually here because I was looking at the weather and it looks like it's fully cloudy here. Yet at the western edge of Connecticut, obviously where I am, the clouds are just heading eastward, and I'm gonna end up with clear skies for the whole night once it clears. So I'm not sure if I'll actually get the ability to stream tonight, but I'm looking forward to trying.
Yeah, well, I know the next 2 days are supposed to be absolute crap.
Well,
when it comes to weather.
Yeah, but there's the overnight. The overnight might look okay.
Yeah. So they're calling for clear nights, I guess.
Well, partly cloudy. All right, and first of all, to a weatherman, to a weather person, clear to them means no precipitation. So clear does not mean stars.
Right.
So it's not an astronomical forecast; it's a weather forecast. And then that's what it is. So
guys in the chat, if you want to tell me how your listening is, hopefully we got everything good. I think I pretty much got this down to a science now as I sit here and adjust my microphone live. There's little bands that hold, those old school microphone holders, the ones with the big, old radio stuff. That's the kind I have here, and it's just sometimes the bands come loose on it.
Oh yeah, you had that at Bill's.
Yeah. I had both of them at Bill's actually.
Yeah, that's like the shock mount, right? So that it doesn't take vibration from the ground and all that stuff. That's cool.
I love this microphone, and it's not an expensive one either.
No, but it looks like it is.
Yeah, well, it looks like it is, and the sound is really good on it. There's a good buffer sound to it. It's got a heavy magnet in it,
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
That's good if you're sitting still. I mean, in the observatory, I actually got a wireless mic now, so I can actually just wear a little headset, and I still have to have a wired headphone. But I had a star party the other night here with 25 people, and
oh damn.
Yeah. Well, you're invited, but it's by the time you got here, it'd be done.
Yeah,
but,
right. I'd have to leave at 8 in the morning.
Right? Not really.
Yeah.
But the bottom line was that it was nice. Yeah. The bottom line was it was pretty nice, and having everybody there. The weather was crap, but
Mark, I have to tell you this story, okay?
Yeah.
This morning, on my 2-hour drive to Annapolis, I have a nice Amish gentleman with me that rode down with me, right?
Yep.
So I decided to put on the stream from, I think it was the last one we did, which might have been the attempt at an all Saturn stream, but it didn't end up. Anyway, we started talking and whatnot. By the time that 2-hour drive was home, man, you can tell I'm already tired. By the time that 2-hour drive was done, this Amish guy literally said to me, I could listen to that guy for a good long time. I actually understand what he's saying, considering how much science we learned in school, because they only go to the 8th grade and whatnot. He's like, I could pretty much follow everything he was saying.
Well, that's actually great, because that's sort of what I'm aiming at. I mean, and we all try to do that. You try to do this when you actually do live stuff on the air with your stream. Bill does too, but he tends to just get into conversations with people about stuff. But he's also, he has the involvement with KGRA a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's great because he actually makes it really, exciting because you got lots of people that are coming on. I talked yesterday to Don Ecker, who's one of the new hosts on KGRA, and he wants to have me on this show. And I talked to Don years ago. And we talked about because we actually worked together on Aliens on the Moon, but we didn't know it because his research was what they were trying to investigate,
right? And
they were showing me his stuff plus this other guy's stuff, and for the moon stuff, when they're saying, well, there's alien structures on the moon, the only photos they would give me were images of the moon that had this color overlay outlining the shapes that the person thinks are there.
That bluish,
and pink.
color.
Yeah, and it was like, I said, I said I told Bob Kvyat, who's the producer. He also did Alien Autopsy. I told Bob Kvyat, yeah, Bob, I need the originals. I can't see this stuff. I mean, I'm not supposed to see what you suspect. I'm supposed to look at this and see if I see the same thing you see, because that's
right.
a double blind.
That's literally almost as bad as drawing the angles and everything over with a teleprompter or something, to draw it out in front of you. Like, let
That's
your
right.
own pareidolia take over, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it definitely didn't want that to happen. So it was like pulling teeth, but he gave me the originals. And when he gave me the originals, when I didn't see the mapped out things that they thought they saw,
Right.
I saw something completely different. In fact, I saw, for most of them, I saw naturally occurring phenomena, which I proceeded to create in my effects shop here. I don't know if you saw, when you were here, did you see the lunar soil that I developed?
Oh, yeah, you were playing around with it, and I think Heidi inhaled half of it and ran out of the room coughing. I think that was her. It might have been Paul. I'm not sure.
Well, it depends. Whichever one gets silicosis, that's the one that inhaled it. But the bottom line is that that stuff was fairly accurate to the qualities and characteristics of lunar soil, as you could tell. It was very, very light. The only thing I didn't do with it was create the glass effect, because I just didn't want to sift through it and cut up my fingers.
Right.
I didn't want it to be abrasive like the glass. That's really important. So I did compromise on that, but that's just for health reasons. But the bottom line was that when I created that stuff, I showed them how things worked on the lunar surface using some of that soil, and they basically looked at me. The producer looked at me and said, "Oh, that won't get in the show." I said, "Wait, you don't want the truth in the show?"
No,
he says,
they don't.
No, he said, no, you're like the premier imaging analyst. You're the guy. I said, well, then this is in the show.
Listen,
or I'm not in the show.
Truth is bad for ratings.
Right.
Okay. And, and that's the one thing that made me mad about that Aliens on the Moon thing, was because they did not show one before and after picture before they put that blue highlight on those images, to kind of like let your eye scan around first before they made it,
pop out in your face.
Yeah,
that would have been the right thing to do.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a layered color either. Like, they had dark and light blues in the areas where they thought they needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they used a lot of pinks and blues. And you're right; those tints really ruined the perception of the people in the audience, because they couldn't help but see what they wanted to see.
Yep.
But that's what Kvyat was doing. He was trying to get that approach. And you know what? I don't ever want to do with that stuff. I don't want to deal with that stuff anymore. So if he wants me in a show again, he's going to have to, it's going to have to play by my rules and not his. I'm not going to do it if he's going to make me do it. Now, I didn't compromise my beliefs at all, not one bit. I actually stuck to my guns and told them what I thought, and they recorded it and all that. And then when the show came out, I heard myself saying things like, "Wow, that was pretty interesting."
And you were probably saying that about one of the camera guys' lunches.
Well, they didn't actually chop it up as bad as that.
It's like, wow, that's an interesting pickle, and then in the show you hear, wow, that's an interesting photo fact.
Yeah, that's an interesting photo.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
right. So no, but they didn't do that so much to me. But what they did was, at the beginning of each one, the only game that I did play with them and they allowed them to do was, I allowed them to build up the suspense, and they said that I was then going to be the guy to take them down. And that's what NASA's Unexplained Files does. That's what on Earth does. They stick to that, and they don't compromise my findings. They actually allow me to build it up like everybody else, and then, if necessary, tear it to shreds. And I get to tear it to shreds. So, it was cool, but it didn't really, I did that with this. And then, what ended up in the final cut, as far as I could tell, I didn't watch the whole thing because I got disgusted, was with the first artifact that I saw, okay, and I remember it, I actually turned around and I said to them, I go, well, this is very interesting, but, and I remember pausing and then saying, but, all that got into that story, that part of the story in my episode was, this is very interesting. But I think it's a natural occurrence. It's a natural. It was actually a.
It almost reminds me of like how they promote movies, like they'll so one review will say this is a magnificent piece of art, but it's so they'll say but it's lacking this and this and that, and all you'll see in the promo for the movie is Rolling Stone said it's a magnificent piece of art. You know,
They can't deny it. It's out of context stuff all the time, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my. Well, I was watching a stream earlier this week, and I have to tell you this because I find it fascinating. Actually, there was a Nibiru guy.
Yeah.
That literally, I mean, got just, I mean, really mad if you were questioning anything that Nibiru wasn't or whatever. Anyway, this guy was on with a friend of mine. You people might know him as Daz the cameraman. You know, and Daz has been consistently debunking Nibiru and flat Earth people for a while because he says he's sick of the fear mongering.
Hey, it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it.
Right, and you know, I know Daz rubs a lot of people the wrong way just because I like the guy, because he does his homework. But the funny thing was they had this Nibiru guy on. I think his name was Chris Potter, if I'm not mistaken. And literally, he got on there, and after, this has been about a year and a half that these two have been fighting, back and forth. Like, they would put out a Nibiru video, Daz would debunk it, with the whole SDO images and all that stuff. Everyone, he just wouldn't let him get away with it.
Yep.
And I think it was Monday or Tuesday night, Chris Potter actually comes onto a Google Hangout with Daz and admits everything. Admits it's all fake. Admits they, create, the evidence. Admits that they do it for money. And he literally removed himself from the Nibiru community.
Serious?
And I was like, this is a guy that was die-hard Nibiru fanatic a month ago. And he was saying a bunch of stuff. If you guys have it, you can check out Daz the Cameraman's channel and watch the video. I mean, it's very interesting to see the 160-degree turn that this guy made from being die-hard Nibiru to now just I don't know if he was wronged by somebody in the community or something like that, but he just kind of laid it out all there in line, didn't deny anything, just answered all the questions and had a respectful conversation with Daz, which usually the Nibiru chats don't do, especially when it comes to Daz. But yeah, I was just floored. I was like, this is a complete turn of events for this guy because he was one of the head guys.
Great. Yeah, I think that's really good.
So if you guys didn't get to see it, check out Daz the Camera. I think it's on his channel. I shouldn't say that out. I mean, but I'm pretty sure it is. He had a live hangout with Chris Potter. Very, very interesting stuff. And for me, not being a Nibiru guy, I do find it fascinating how a lot of Nibiru people think and whatnot, and we pretty much know that most of them are full of it. They're just doing it for the money. But to actually hear somebody that was so into it actually do that turn, I don't know. That's like me coming on here tomorrow and going, guys, the Earth is flat. You know what I mean? It's like a complete one, But anyway, I'm not sure why I had to bring that up. I just found it absolutely fascinating that this happened. And Daz will be a guest on here soon, as well as Astronomy Live. Mark, Astronomy Live is a fellow astronomer in Florida. He has created a code for Mead software.
Okay.
Now, being that Paul is more Celestron based, this software for the Mead is for tracking moving objects, whether it be the ISS, asteroids, whatever. It locks on and automatically takes your scope and tracks it. He's looking for alpha and beta testers. You want it?
Yeah, I do, because I've actually been testing one like that, and I can't get it to work.
Okay, he wrote the code himself and everything, and he has a video up showing him doing it, and the scope actually locking on and tracking thing all the way through the sky. No problem. So, when we were initially talking about this, we were talking about doing it for Paul doing it, but being that he's more, his programs are more Celestron based, or, the Mead software, which I believe you use, correct? Between... Anyway, it's meant for Mead, put it that way. He has a Mead.
Yeah, well, I use I use software, but it's the Orion protocol. But if it's Mead, I can use Mead.
Okay, so I will pass that on to him and tell him that that you will help alpha or beta test whatever test he's on.
Yeah.
Because I know he does want to get it out to a couple other people to get them playing around with it and see what they think of it and whatnot. So, and he'll be a guest on here. And what he'll do is when he's a guest, I'll actually probably be carrying his feed so he can demonstrate how this thing works.
That's a good idea.
Yep. And
Because I want to be able
helps.
to. I do want to be able to track satellites, for instance. Now, here's the thing about tracking, and he'll probably say this when he comes on. The standard drives that are tracking that are tracking on our Meade systems and Celestron systems. There's several modes. Okay, you can actually have high precision and regular precision. Okay, on this particular Meade system. So high precision just means that the little tiny stair steps are smaller. Now, what I mean by stair steps, it goes right or left and down or up.
Right.
Okay, and it doesn't go on a diagonal. So it goes over a little and down a little, over a little and down a little, like if it's tracking down to the lower left. Say left and down, left and down, left and down, little tiny movements.
Yep.
So when you actually move the scope through the sky fast, you actually see little tiny stairs in the images as it moves across. Now, that's because it never was intended to be a high precision mount. A high precision mount is a mount like the micron mounts. Okay.
Does that have almost like a gimbal kind of interior to it, where it can actually go on diagonals? Or
Well,
like a
it
smaller tooth setting where it can.
It's probably a very, very fine mesh, because the fine mesh means that the stair steps are reduced to almost a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
For all intents and purposes. Why is that important? That's important because if you're trying to take photographs or video, the thing may actually jitter a little bit as it's going, it being quote unquote tracked.
Right.
So the quality of the tracking is, of course, going to be crucial to the software.
Right.
And you can't blame the software.
Well, I know the test that he did was with a satellite, and this thing. I mean, I was so impressed by it because it literally, not only did it lock onto this thing, and it was smooth, and I think he runs an 8-inch Meade, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. He locked on. Not only did it track it, but it kept it center.
Well, yeah,
and
I mean,
it's going on
should.
now. He says part of it is based on predictive paths, like especially when it comes to satellites and whatnot. He said, but. And I believe, see, I shouldn't say this right now because I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly, but I think he said that it can do asteroids.
Well, sure it can,
and
but
actually track it and keep it in frame, and and for that part, it doesn't use it uses predictive tracking, like a predictive mode, but it's not as mathematical and scientific as say what a satellite would be, where the predictive path is going to be. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and a satellite is definitely going to be harder to track than an asteroid. I mean, I could train my telescope on an asteroid up in the sky and, let it follow normally, and it'll be tracking it just fine. Mm-hmm. And then every once in a while, I have to move it eastward or westward or whatever, or north or south, depending on what its track is. But the thing is that, tracking an asteroid is a much slower process because asteroids don't go zipping across the sky at the speed of satellites by far. They go very slowly. I mean, in other words, remember the night the comet was out, and I took photos of the comet in my stream, and then we came back. I literally came back 10 minutes later, took another photo, and then a half hour later, and took another photo, and you could literally see that it had moved, several arc minutes in the sky without any problem. You could actually see the movement. And I actually made a composite and put that up to show the movement over a period of time, like in an hour, I think it was, and you can actually see that. Well. It took an hour for it to move basically the distance of one eyepiece width, and that is to say, the view width. So it's several arc minutes. And so similarly with an asteroid, it's going to do the same kind of thing. So it won't be as obvious. But so tracking satellites is different from asteroids and comets. All right, but comets actually move faster than asteroids. So you actually, comets move across the sky maybe a part of a degree or a couple degrees, depending on how close it is to us, and a night. And so basically, that's why they're only in the sky for a few weeks, and then they're gone because they circle around the sun very quickly. As they get closer, they speed up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool,
Nice.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. This is a nice view.
I'm just really excited about that software because it could open up a whole bunch of doors, like especially when we get, the things passing in front of the moon. Especially if we can somehow adapt it to Celestron, which I'm sure wouldn't be overly hard to do.
No. Or mine. I mean, mine, and what I can do is, what I can do is I can actually say, okay, we're going to follow the this little booster, and we can look at it and then watch it moving against the background stars and see the background stars zipping by.
Yep.
The nice thing is with this
your
particular
camera's
camera,
great for that too.
Right? That's what I was just saying. The camera is going to make the difference because you're going to actually see, in full color. For any stars that go by in color, you're going to actually see this, and you can see geostationary satellites too. And tracking them is kind of a silly thing because they don't really move that much, but they do move.
Right.
They do move, and actually, if you were to actually track a geostationary satellite, that's a satellite that's 22,000 some odd miles out from the Earth, so it stays over the same spot on the Earth. Well, they don't exactly stay over the same spot. They actually kind of move in a little bit of a pattern.
Right.
And over time, you can actually watch them move. And if you have a satellite that's tracking the stars, a telescope tracking the stars, and you take a long exposure, well, you might see a little weird dashed or squiggle line. And that's a geostationary satellite moving amongst the stars a little bit during the time you took the exposure. But if you're following the satellite, the opposite will be true. If you're focused on the satellite dead center, then the stars will make that little weird squiggle over time, and that's kind of cool,
You know what? I just remembered this. We got 2 pieces of good news yesterday. One of them I can't go too far into detail for, but I can tell you the basic principle of it. The other one I can. I have a friend that's doing an archaeological dig over in Egypt.
Yep.
And he has gotten us permission to set up a live cam at the pyramids of Giza.
Awesome.
Which is going to be like a complete sky cam, of course, with the pyramids at the bottom. There's still a couple things he has to hash out because the government over there is not exactly they want guarantees that there's no cameras like filming the dig itself, and all that kind of crap. So that's the first one. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm probably going to end A.K.A Astronomers and actually use that channel for a 24-hour live stream of Egypt. I'm thinking that's the best way to do it, just so, just to give you a heads up. The second thing is just blew my mind. So I was checking email as I was doing the stream last night, and I get a email from I'm not going to say exactly where, but just it's a NASA email address. Okay, because I had written them a couple times about a couple different things. This was to my inquiry about actually streaming a live conversation with the ISS. And because I've seen them do it with schools and stuff before.
Sure.
Not expecting ever to hear anything back from them. Well, I did, and they said it is more than possible, and that they would like to talk to me further about it. And I now have a contact and a phone number.
Very cool.
So how cool would that be for us to be live, like me and you and Bill just sitting here chatting with people with live video to the ISS?
You know what? We should make it a flat Earth session.
Yeah, look, y'all, they're gonna be
and say, "Excuse me, guys, can you point the camera out the window?" Oh, look, the Earth is what? Round.
But, I mean, you can ask anybody in there. I was baffled last night. I was literally about to jump out of my chair. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" You know what I mean? Because I thought they reserved that for schools and maybe colleges or something. And no, they emailed, no, that's definitely more than possible. Here's a phone number. Here's our contact. Can't wait to hear from you. Blah blah. Really nice about everything. I'm like,
yep.
Huh. Well, there we go.
Very cool.
You know what I mean? Well,
if you tell them you're part of this consortium with all of us, right? AstroImagingLive.com.
Well, see, this email was sent I think it was just a little over a month ago. I sent it, and I could tell that the person that responded to me wasn't the person it initially went to. So I can tell this was forwarded around a little bit to a couple people. Yeah. Maybe to get it in the right hands, for a request. Because, I thought I had the right one, but maybe I didn't. So maybe they forwarded it around or whatnot. But, yeah, I was like, wow, we're actually going to be able to live stream, And once again, I don't know any of the details yet. I was going to call this morning. I wasn't able to. But I am definitely calling, and I should have some word by mid-next week. As you can see on the screen, I did change the Astro Imaging Live to be a little bit more visible. If you noticed, it is nice and bright and yellow now.
Yeah, no, that's nice. That's very cool. And the only thing, like I said, we got to make sure that the links do a live, an actual live link on Astro Imaging Live to each of the feeds, so that when people click on them, they don't see yesterday's feed; they see tonight live, or they can then go to it and pick one they want. But it's actually a nice setup because you click on it, you maximize it if you want to, and then when you hit escape or you hit the minimize button, the one at the lower right in the view, and the little square screen down at the bottom right of the view when you click in the view.
Right.
It brings you right back to Astro Imaging Live.
Well, not only that,
you
can take that screen and say if you have like Chromecast or any of the smart TVs, you can cast that to your, you could mute them out and put on your own soundtrack if you wanted to.
That's
and
right.
You would have three, especially if all of us are live at the same time, you would have three different perspectives of the cosmos.
I would like to figure out a way to I have dual screens and a lot of people have dual screens. It'd be nice to just and we can do this now actually just by moving them around, but it'd be great if we could detect the dual screens and then maximize when you go in one, it goes to the left screen. When you go in the next one, it doesn't overlay the left one, it goes to the right screen.
Right.
And some people actually have 4 screens, and because
I
of
got
course
1, 2, 3. Well, including the laptop would be 4.
Well, no, active screens, active.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have to because I got the feed from Paul, and then I got to watch the
Right.
YouTube stream, and then of course I have the OBS on the other one.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because I have to have the OBS big so I can see where the brightness and contrast and all that stuff is, know, in real time, and I want to see it up close so I know, when we zoom in on craters and stuff for that. But I just so much stuff coming up this year.
I know, isn't it great?
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
And you know what? I wanted to ask you too. What's your status for the 21st of August?
I'm still trying to make sure I can do it. I think I can, but I've been looking around and talking to some hotels down there, and there's I know there's no vacancies.
Yeah, I know.
Good luck in Nashville. You're gonna end up sleeping on that skyscraper, man. You're gonna sleep on the roof.
No. I'm going to a friend's house, buddy.
Oh, you are.
So let me know if you want to go. I will try to get the okay for you to come as well.
All right. Well,
she has her own house. It's a pretty big house. I'm pretty sure we can flop on the floor if we have to. But no, it's a house in Nashville. That's where we're staying. And then when it comes to the actual during the stream, that's when we go into town.
Oh, I see.
And if it turns out that it's an absolute cluster in town, we'll just go right back and do it from our backyard.
So is it? Yeah. Hopefully it'll be clear.
Yeah, we'll see. What me and Paul were talking about, we're leaving a 90-mile swath.
Yeah.
In each direction. So say if storms are starting to come, because I think down there the time is right around 12:30 to 1, right around that time frame on Monday.
Yeah.
So we were giving it if we see storms coming in from the west. If we think we could drive through that storm and get out to the west of that storm, we're going to do it. If we have to go north 90 miles, if we have to go south 90 miles, if we have to go west 90 miles to do it, we're going to do it. The only problem with that is...
You lose totality.
Would be... No. It's still in the path of totality. We're still in that swath of totality. That's
then
why...
You're gonna go, it's either going to be northwest or southeast.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm talking about. North of Nashville.
Right.
Because Nashville's on the southern brim of the path of totality. So we have a lot more room to go north if we need to. So, yeah. So we're the only thing about that is if we do end up having to move, we're going to have to record it and not do it live. Because unless she has bandwidth. Unless Paul gets a card or something, or I can find one that has high speed internet, Verizon card or something like that to use for that weekend. But either way, we're going to
look. It's actually even simpler than that. All you have to do is go anywhere near a Starbucks, a McDonald's, or anywhere, and you'll get their Wi-Fi. And then you can actually stream through their Wi-Fi from the freaking parking lot.
McDonald's Wi-Fi, Starbucks Wi-Fi, it is all going to be loaded.
I'm sure if people are doing what we want to do.
Which is why I'm just hoping that at her house, because she has high-speed internet, with pretty good bandwidth and whatnot, kind of like I do here, where we would be fine. We could hardwire instead of trying to go do it wireless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I'm hoping for a good thing, but if we have to make that, I mean, we've even talked about if we have to running down the Carolinas and going towards Charleston.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we, because you got to figure the next eclipse is what, 2024, and that's going to stay mostly West Coast side, I think. So this is pretty much our chance to get it. Now we figured the next time the eclipse comes, you'll be out in Arizona, so we'll just come in.
And you'll be coming to see me, yeah. You come out there, and then we'll drive to wherever we have to.
Right. But for this one, we want to, make sure we get it, and call us cocky or whatever, but we want to make sure we get it the best. If you know what I mean.
Of course. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think there's going to be people streaming it all over the place. But you know what?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Sloot's going to be there. Slew or whatever it is going to be there. I'm pretty sure. I know there's
Paul Cox is Slew. He's the guy that'll be there.
Deboo, or what's that guy's name? Is it Deboo? I don't know. But he's going to be somewhere around there. But we want to make sure, because usually when Paul goes, this guy will pack up every damn scope he has and be doing a wheelie down the road with all the, I think this time he's just going to bring the solar scope, a couple spotter scopes, and all the cameras. And then I'll be loaded down with cameras as well for wide fields and, time lapses for the ground in front of us and whatnot. But it'd be awesome to have you there. So if you do want to go and you think you have the time and you want to deliver that observatory.
I got to deliver the observatory to Knoxville, Tennessee, which is 2 hours east.
Which I don't know. Would you need help delivering something like that, or would you? I guess the people there would probably help you, load it and unload it.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not gonna. I got the brother of one of the guy that I'm giving it to down there for his school. He said he wanted to go with me, so he might drive. But I'm looking for a truck that I can put it on. Or a trailer I can tow, because
if you can get it to me, we can just throw it in the back of the truck.
It's a full 8 feet by 8 feet. It's not small, and it'd be overhanging too far on each side.
Did you see my truck?
It was in my driveway.
No. Paul's truck was in your driveway.
Oh no, I haven't seen your
my truck was the.
Oh no, you were there. The dually. You were in my driveway. You came the next day.
Yeah.
Because you had to pick up a special toy.
Right. I mean, talk about a guy perfectly equipped with the straps and everything,
Yeah. Yeah, you did a good job with the Jupiter 2 there.
Yeah, until I ended up in Yonkers somehow.
Well, that's just you.
Everybody's wondering what this big old spaceship on the back of my truck is doing. Oh my! But yeah, I mean, if it comes down to it, if you have a trailer, just so you're not pulling gas or whatnot, if you have like a little small trailer to get it here. It wouldn't be. You can just leave your car here, but once again, it's going to depend if that guy wants to go with you or not. But you could just leave your car here, and we could head down to Tennessee that way.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't have a problem with that. Only trouble is I probably have to drive anyway, because because otherwise then you're gonna be beholden to me to make sure I'm going wherever you go, and you can't leave me behind and all that. And I just don't want you to have to worry about that, So we'll figure it out. But that doesn't sound like a bad idea. If I could figure out how to get it down to you, then you could load it up in your truck and carry it down. I can give you, I can pay for gas and, the expected rate of freight.
I'll do a drive by and just unstrap it going down the road and push it off as a drive by. There you go. Right, I'm off to Nashville later.
Yeah, that's it. Right, I have to veer around it, as it skids to a halt and shaves itself down to a tiny little pimple instead of a dome.
Well, I mean, I know it's pretty big, but as I said, I mean, even if you have to drive down, if you can get it to here, we could load it up in my truck, and then even if you still want to drive down, at least you're not pulling a trailer all the way down to Tennessee. And plus, it's kind of nice having a smaller vehicle in, say, cities where my truck doesn't do very well at finding parking spaces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know, but we can figure it out. But I definitely think we should nail it down by, I'm going to say, probably within the next week to find out what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Because you're looking Tuesday's the 2nd already.
Well, find out from your friend if it's going to be a problem. Bill says he's not going to probably be able to go. Is that what he told you?
Yeah, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
But, yeah, guy's got to do what he's got to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, not going to hold it against him, but hopefully we'll be able to get together more often,
Yeah, well, look, 2027, when I'm in Arizona, you'll be able to come out to the Desert Observatory, and be able to see some views that'll just knock you out.
When we do that, I will take my first ever 3-week vacation that I'm entitled to.
You absolutely should.
Only because, and I know this is going a long way around, but I have to go to North and South Dakota.
Yeah, it's definitely the long way around.
yeah. Well, don't ask me why I have to go there. I just, for some reason, my whole life I have always wanted to go there, and it's a place I've never been, and I'd like to go there and just camp out for a night or two. You know what I mean?
Get out of your truck and say, okay, scratch it off the list, get in the truck and leave.
Yep. So, but once again, that's only going to be 1 or 2 nights, and then it'll take me 1 or 2 days to get out to you, and then because I'm not going to fly, I'm going to drive. I like driving.
Yeah. Oh, well, you can do the Route 66 and do the classic Route 66 route,
Yep.
And what do you guys in chat think about that? Should he do Route 66 and go all the way across the country?
Vlog it.
I'll bet you you should. And then he has to get good at saying Breaker 19. This is Robert Duck.
Oh yeah, I got my trucker voice down all right. I'm like Breaker 19. Yeah, give me a old call back. Come on back now, Gamber. Come on there.
That's right. We got a Smoky up ahead there. He's gonna blow your doors in.
10-4, good buddy. We got a bear, got a Kojak with a Kodak. Come on back.
That's funny. Yeah, you certainly do got it. And we got us a convoy. Dun, 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 dun. Who remembers that song, Convoy?
Oh boy.
Because we got a big old convoy going through the night or whatever it is. Here comes a big old convoy. Ain't she a beautiful sight? Remember that song? That was C.J. McCall. It was his only hit ever. It was called Convoy.
Kids, you can enjoy that song on 8-track tapes.
On 8-track and cassettes, in every fine music store.
I wonder what Bill's doing right now. Is he just sitting at home chilling?
I don't know. Should we go check his site? I don't really know if he's even.
Well, I don't
think he's streaming.
I thought he said something about doing KGR on Thursdays, but maybe I missed it. I just got so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. Poor Bill.
No, he says he's live.
Oh, he's live?
It says, yep, he is.
On YouTube?
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
he's live.
Cool. Awesome.
Yep.
I should call him up just to interrupt. Be like, hey, we're streaming too.
Well, you should bring him on.
Yeah, right? Hold on. I got to see this. Let me jump over to this channel real quick. Let me see here. What the Bill doing? All right, I'm coming after him now. Let me find out. Yeah, because I was looking for him early, because he usually starts around like 7 or 8 or so, but I know the meteor showers are happening, so...
yeah. Well, see, and he's cloudy out there in Newburgh, and that's not good.
Well, maybe he's just running...
broken skies, broken clouds.
Yeah, maybe he's just running KGRA audio. Let me find out here. Dude, is anybody else getting a YouTube, a different look for YouTube?
In what way?
Like the last couple days, like every once in a while when I click on YouTube, the whole format looks different. Almost like they polished it up and, like they're almost about to launch like a new format for it or something.
Yeah.
Anybody else get that in the chat or anything? It's like black. It's almost like if you ever click the gaming, like sometimes when somebody's live streaming, you have a choice of going like gaming, which is like night mode, and it kind of blacks everything out.
Yeah, I've seen that.
All right, yeah, this guy is a lot. I'm going after him. I wonder if he's playing KG. Listen, I can't look at the. I can't look at or listen to his stream because I'm live right now. But any of my mods, I can see
Amanda just warned him that you're coming.
Oh, what a traitor! Yeah, Benedict Arnold. Anyway, now if
he's in here. Oh, he's in here because he is there in there because he's actually just brought up a like it looks like an infrared or night mode view.
Yeah, but he might be playing KGRA.
He might be, but he's he's reading. I'm sure he's reading.
So somebody asked Bill if he wants to come on, and we'll do audio on both channels. And if not, no big deal. We just figured since we're here, why not? It's a beautiful night out in Miami.
Yeah. I asked him if he could come on Keys, and we're going to find out.
And once again, coming on screen right now, you will see the correct orientation of the moon as it sets. I believe Paul's going to write something on the screen and let you know that. We try to do that every time that we put it in the correct orientation, because I know we do a lot of flip-flopping around with turning the camera and everything. So yeah, that is the correct orientation of Luna.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm watching my chat to see if anybody up.
That's right, Amanda. You little devil. Look at you. Come on. I see that. She's a devil.
Let's see.
In the best possible way. I mean,
it must be really hot in Miami, because Paul's telling me it's that the heat is killing his camera. Now, once again, this isn't the new cameras yet. He's going to start bringing the new cameras out. Actually, we're going to step on Mark's toes a little bit. And do some deeper space stuff just to get the camera settings right if we ever need them.
Cool.
So that'll be coming after this moon cycle. That's what.
Which
we'll be
camera?
doing.
Which camera are you getting? Which one of those?
That's the one. The two that he ordered when we were up in New York, with the new optics chips.
Not sure which camera they were.
I believe me. I don't think anybody knows what they're called because they're custom made.
Okay.
But he sent me images. He emailed me a bunch of images last night of stuff that he was taking, and I was just, my jaw dropped. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
What kind of ISO does it go to?
I have no idea. I didn't ask him. I was amazed, and because I know he was really up on these cameras, and I know that's why he ordered two of them, because he doesn't want to lose one and then be stuck without any. You know what I mean? And they're expensive. They're like $12 to $1,500 a piece.
Yeah.
And that's just a camera. That's not any software or anything like that.
Yeah, Amanda just said Bill doesn't want to join.
Well, what the?
Beep.
That's all right. He doesn't have to join.
You son of a beep.
That's cool. No big deal. Yeah, he's got, but it's so anybody that wants to see coverage of the meteor shower, definitely jump over to Bill's channel, and if any mods can pop his link in the chat, he is your meteor shower guy, and he's doing early. What is it this time of year? Is it the
Perseids?
Perseids? Okay.
Yeah, the Perseids.
So yeah,
they're the August meteor shower. Yeah. Of fame. And they're typically they're nice sometimes, and sometimes they're a disappointment.
Yeah, but see, I think because I don't think Bill had this camera last year during the Perseids, so I'm really interested to see how it looks this year.
Yeah, he was using some settings that he didn't realize were kind of crippling his ability in the video mode, because if you take the camera and turn it into make it a video mode instead of just start recording a video, for instance.
Wow! Do you see what he's doing?
With
he's doing the infrared picture-in-picture.
Yeah, I see it. That's what I was telling you about. That's what I was saying.
I don't know if he's listening, but if you are, I salute you, sir. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So if any of the mods want to post the link to Bill's, make sure you jump over there, tell him what's up. He is setting up the Perseids cams, plural.
That's funny. Ever since I told him about that I was doing that picture-in-picture for the observatory, he's like, "Oh, I gotta do that," and now he loves it. He absolutely loves it. It's such an easy thing to do with our broadcast software. Right.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to actually come on sometime and help you with your because I know you want to keep a lot of your viewing area on yours, but I want to come on and actually help you put your stuff on screen. And have you ever thought about making a logo for your channel?
I haven't though. I don't have one yet, but I was thinking of it. But I actually, if someday I can get some sponsorship, then my logo is going to be secondary. Bill's got one, you got one. I mean, I should have a logo anyway, because it's sort of an identity, and it's not because it's cool. Look at me, I'm a big man. It's not that at all.
Right.
It's just an identity.
The only reason I did it because I used to just write P&K Space Imaging on the screen, and I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, well, branding wise, like we want to set ourselves apart, from other people,
right.
And I want that red telescope, that red clip art telescope, to actually mean something. You know, it might look like a little stupid, thing in between P&K and space imaging, but that little red scope, you notice it, and if you notice that our profile picture is actually an and sign, the and sign that's in the middle, that it actually has a little telescope in it too. And I decided that, because I was going to go for some kind of thing, but there's all kinds of, what you can see. I just wanted something recognizable. And a lot of people are like, is that an E? Or is that a and sign? Is it, because
let's
of the
go
font.
over to Peck. Let's go to Peck. What?
So, but I realized that something that simple is easily recognizable. You know what I mean? So that's why I decided to stick with that and actually use that and sign and actually just put a little telescope there just to make it, because it's a easy font. It's on most. It's nothing special there, but I made sure, because I went through all different shades of red for that telescope.
Actually, you know what you might want to try? Removing the and sign entirely and just putting a little telescope in there. So it's P telescope K. That might be a very effective logo, because then that actually will say it all.
Very well could. And I know this logo here, I might send it up, because when we do the T-shirts, I want this logo here will actually be on the back of the neck.
Yeah.
Really small, just so you
can
see.
Yeah.
I did the preliminary shirt models for in astronomy. Size does matter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like over the pocket where a name might be, you would have P&K with the telescope, and on the back the whole logo in small letters on the back of the neck, P&K Space Imaging.
Right. The one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to get into like tchotchkes and stuff like that. Like, shirts are cool, even hoodies are cool, but I don't want to get into like little tchotchkes, like stupid bobbleheads or anything like that, or coffee cups, or.
Oh, you just don't want to see your likeness bobbing around on someone's coffee table.
I want to keep it to a minimum as much as we can, because I'm not here to hawk stuff on people. You know what I mean?
Right. Of course not.
We're not part of the EIB network.
That's right.
You're
not selling cigars.
But I thought, if I could make a couple, funny shirts, the intentional retardation will be one, with the flat earth stuff, and then of course the size does matter one. So we'll have a couple. It's never going to be anything big. It'll be made to order. So, which is the best part about it, was like, if somebody wants one, they can get one, and I don't have to sit here and stock boxes of T-shirts.
Yep, that's right.
And they ship it right out from the printer. So, it'll work out good. I have thought about bumper stickers, but I'm like, what the hell am I going to put on? I said we're a space imaging channel. What the hell am I going to put on a bumper sticker? You know what I mean? So I was like, nah, screw that. I said, well, just stick to, we'll do 1 or 2 shirts, and then you can get them on a hoodie if you want to. But that's coming way later.
No, I think bumper stickers are fine in terms of, in terms of like advertising the site.
Yeah, and I have noticed, because I was thinking to myself if I should do that, and I'm like, well, truthfully, I find myself sitting in traffic reading bumper stickers myself.
Yeah, astroimaginglive.com. That's all it has to say. Doesn't have to say anything. Doesn't have to have the logos, any of our logos. Just say astroimaginglive.com.
But it has to be legible. It has to be the right font. It has to be able to stick out but not be gaudy. You know what I mean? So yeah. But once again, that's all coming down the road. That's stuff that'll be in the future. But yeah.
Oh, I got, like, the guy that does my fiberglass hulls for me for my business. He pops them out of the molds that I gave him. Basically, his son in the same building has a silk screening business, and I've talked to the guy about doing T-shirts for me, various things, and he's very, very reasonable. So it's not a problem at all to get T-shirts made cheaply here. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that seems to be, they're all pretty much. I mean, you get a couple of them that are a little high because they think But I mean, my requirements would be, number one, that they're good quality. Not something that you're going to put in, a drying machine. It's going to shrink to the size of a toddler. Well, and then after 3 months, it starts flaking off. I mean, you don't want any of that crap either.
Yeah. So you want a good quality, and not only that, but like a good quality shirt itself, like something you would wear even if it didn't have any of the lettering or any of that on it.
And you can make some in polo. Make some in polos as well, where you don't have anything on the back. It's just on the pocket area. You have the logo.
What now? I'm wondering if I can get away with stealing your image of Clem and putting it on a T-shirt and see if you sue me for it.
I'm not gonna sue you. Are you kidding me? I'll buy one. I think that's a great idea, but
I was just gonna have
they
your
don't
Clem
recognize
character,
Clem.
your Clem character there, and then on the top, I was just gonna have fake, and then on the bottom of your face, I was just gonna have flat Earth.
That's a great. That'd be funny, or say, I believes in a flat Earth. I believes Earth is flat.
Yeah. I sent
That's
Daz
cool.
a message to see if he wanted to join us. I haven't heard back. Maybe I'm not sure what time it is in New Zealand, but
Oh God, that's true.
he's a.
There's a webcam app that I like that allows you to just go see, and it's very, very high frame rate stuff. And let me give everybody the name of this app because it's a very cool app. If you want to just go take a visit to New Zealand, like right now, then you can do it. And let me give you the name of the app here as I hunt it down. It's on the iPad, I'm sure.
And once again, I will say, just because of YouTube terms and conditions, this is not a paid promotion.
Oh, jeez.
It's just something that he likes, and he's just throwing it out there for everybody else to enjoy too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I bought it. I mean, it's called EarthCam. EarthCam. You can get a free one, and you can get a version that's pay. And it's just really, really nice.
And that's you said that's an app.
Yeah, it's an app. It's for both the iPad and the iPhone. And it's very high frame rate. That's what I like about it. Very high frame rate.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go look in New Zealand right now and see.
I'm thinking it's about.
I think
noon.
the sun was rising when I was looking at it about a couple hours ago. Let me just go look. I'm just finding I'm zipping through them all here and see what they are. New Zealand cam here, yeah, Queenstown, New Zealand.
Local time is.
I'll tell you. Okay, local time is pretty good, 2:07
p.m.
and it's beautiful. Yeah, it is. It's stunning.
So it is 2:07 p.m. on 7/28/2017 in New Zealand right now.
Yeah, and because of course they're in their winter, the mountains on the other side of the bay are snow-capped.
Yep. Just
really cool.
Responding to Paul's message here. All right. Yeah, so I'm not sure how long we'll be going. I know it's pretty hot down there in Miami. I'm guessing because Paul's having problems with heat in the cam, but I guess we're gonna stay with it as long as we can. Sure. And I know we'll be doing longer streams tomorrow night and a longer stream Saturday night. Do you have any appearances or anything going on this weekend, Mark?
Let's see what they did. I think August 12th is the soonest one I have. I think, and I gotta do an Indiana meeting, and I'll do that with Skype and GoToMeeting, and then that evening I gotta do a class in Japan.
Wow.
So and that was Amanda who got them talking to me, and I owe her all the credit for that, and
nice.
that was great. Yeah. So thank you, Amanda. Once again, publicly, I say thank you.
Hey, did you record or stream your? I know it was supposed to go live out on KGRA, but your talk from Roswell.
No, my talk in Roswell, I couldn't record it because I'd have to use my phone, and I didn't have anything up on the stage to stick it on. It was a last minute thing. I was trying to do it, and they had 4 cameras recording the whole thing from different vantage points. So they do have it, and so I didn't do the talk. I did do the Roswell parade though, as you saw.
Yeah. Sitting out there hanging out, we're racing all them guys. Yeah. I didn't know whether you had recorded it or not. I figured I'd. Because that's definitely something that would be awesome for your channel too, for you to record your talks, just even if it's not the professional. I mean, kind of like we did up in Pine Bush. It actually turned out pretty good, except for the one guy decided to stick his big head in the way. At all these seats open, he decided to plant himself right in front of the camera.
Yeah, and in front of you. Yeah, because you were actually recording. Yeah, that was really good of you. And well, you know what it is. I have like 6 or 7 or 8 different talks I do on all kinds of different things.
Mm-hmm.
regarding this field, exoplanets, and UFOs and all that. So I was thinking that maybe for a cloudy night stream one night, I'll actually do one of my presentations. And people can then watch it. They'll see the PowerPoint, everything. Because I can just use OBS and do the monitor.
Yeah.
And they can actually watch the whole presentation. I can talk, and they can see the whole thing.
I think what you need to do, I mean, this is just a thing for me because your phone actually did a really good job even picking up the audio and whatnot. But if I were you, I would get one of those cell phone camera holders that you can mount to a tripod.
Yeah.
And literally just, pick your own spot, whatever you want it, and just set your phone on it and let her rip. And just hit live, just hit YouTube Live and go for it.
Yeah, I could do that. I could do that.
That's the simplest way anyway, as long as the place that you're speaking at has, Wi-Fi. Hell, why not?
Yeah, I could. And that wouldn't be bad as long as I could plug in for power in case my phone is low, because when you live stream, it eats up a lot of battery very quick.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's right. We had Bill's battery pack there. What is that?
A funny thing happened in Roswell, and Ray Hobbs did it. He was funny because there was this one guy that was doing his talk, all right, and Ray sees a camera recording his talk on the side. He goes, "Hey, whose camera is that?" And nobody knew. So Ray went over and took the camera, off the tripod and put it under the table, out of the way. Because he figured it was somebody trying to get an illegal copy of the talk, he's trying to protect the speaker.
Right.
Well, it was the speaker's camera.
Oh, wow.
And when the guy comes over and says, "Hey, did somebody take my camera?" And Ray's was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
I could see Ray over there. All of a sudden, you just hear him go, "Oh shit."
Yeah. Oh,
was that yours, buddy?
Brother? It's like, "Brother, I'm so sorry, brother. I didn't realize."
Brother, I'm sorry. Did I accidentally bring your camera down through there?
Yeah, it was really funny.
That's my bad.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because we were talking about, we were all saying, if it's some guy just trying to illegally do it, at race, you just pointed at your backside and just pointed at your backside for a little while, and then he has that to look at, it's like, and we laughed about that, and then it turns out it was the speaker's camera itself. It's like, oh, no, that's bad. Oh, now, I had already done my talk, so, I was just being sensitive to the guy possibly having someone pirate his stuff, but it was okay.
So let me ask you, what is your own personal feelings on Roswell? The actual event. Do you think it happened? Do you think there was a craft? Do you think that maybe the military was a balloon? I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are actually pretty straightforward. We don't even have enough knowledge to know what it was. Mm-hmm. If you look at the evidence, which seems to change, year to year, the evidence seems to change. Sometimes it seems like there's a lot of evidence. Sometimes it seems like that evidence was no good. The answer is that we're not going to get an answer. So you have to just realize that's going to be the case. You're never going to get the answer.
I'm just asking what your gut feeling is.
I am approaching that answer.
Tell me now.
I really am. I think that it's possible and potentially likely that an alien craft did crash in Roswell. Part of that is based on discussions with Stanton Friedman, who actually lives near Amanda, up there, kind of in that area. And
neighbors.
Then, let's say, howdy, neighbor.
Yeah, right.
And so based on that, I do. He's a valid researcher. He's a good researcher, and he doesn't candy coat things, and he doesn't hide the truth from himself like so many people do. Like a lot of the people that claim the Earth is flat are basically hiding the truth from themselves just for the sake of an argument,
right?
And that's typically what happens. So I think that it's possible that an alien craft did crash here. The only problem I have with it is that if they could go interstellar, why would it crash? Right. I mean, so could it have been a black project that at the time was a black project? Yeah, it could have been. I mean, you'd be ignorant and arrogant to say that no way, it couldn't possibly have been a black project. When in fact it could have been. Because arrogance is what would drive you saying it couldn't possibly have been that.
Well, yeah, and I pretty much feel that. I mean, what we do know is something did crash.
That's correct.
There were witnesses, even
Yep.
military witnesses that have come out now, over the years, and have said about, staged photos being taken to kind of make it not look like something crashed there or that it was a weather balloon. I mean, there was just a lot of witnesses. A lot of people from the military have come clean about it over the years. So something did crash there. Now, what it was is up for debate. If I have to listen to my gut, I am to myself thinking that it was something possibly not from here.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that because the thing is, again, in astronomy, my aspect of that science is exoplanets. So knowing that there are so many potential Earth-like planets out there, and knowing, in fact, that beings like us are sort of predisposed in the universe, our design, every animal on Earth has the same kind of symmetry, legs and arms, bilateral symmetry.
Right.
Okay. Every creature on Earth, a higher order animal has that symmetry. I think that's a template that the universe basically provides based on how planets work and how they operate, how they evolve. And so why would that not happen elsewhere? Now, they may look different from us, right? Because dinosaurs were killed off by the Jurassic Age asteroid hit, right? The Cretaceous Paleogene event, now they call it, right? So that actually happened at a time when mammals were really low in the totem pole. But the holes left in the life evolution potential allowed for those little mammals, the size of a shrew, to rise forward, move forward. And all the branches, the many branches that came off of that through the explosion of life that occurred after that, allowed for us, and primates came, Australopithecus 4 million years ago, so Lucy. And then, from there on up. And so that, to me, seems like, and people say, well, it's a very specific set of circumstances. Yes, it is. I grant you. But it doesn't mean that intelligence can only exist with a specific set of circumstances like us.
Right.
I don't think that dinosaurs would have reached the level of intelligence that we had. There was at least one theropod back in Jurassic times that was increasing the size of its brain little by little, and its intelligence level was increasing based on the hints and evidence in the fossil record. Yep. If that's true, what's that mean? It means that creatures tend to advance, and evolution will force the advance because you either adapt or you perish.
Yep.
And adaptation usually requires a increase in cranial capacity. It requires a adaptation to certain events. Some of it is just automatic. Some of it is instinctive type stuff. But some of it requires intelligence, and some of it requires an ability to rationalize and reason. And we see tool usage, for instance, in the primate world, where we wouldn't expect to see tool usage, 50, 100 years ago, okay, because we didn't realize that primates would basically use tools, and we see insects that even use tools, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. And what is that? Is that intelligence? Well, in a sense, but it's a learned behavior that has propagated through their species.
Well, let me ask you about a couple things, like, because these are pretty much all because obviously scientific thing. Well, I'm just asking your own opinion on things. Now, you have guys like, let's say, Richard Hoagland. What is your opinion on the whole moon base phenomenon? I mean, obviously, I can tell you right now, and this is full disclosure from here, that we have not seen any proof of any moon bases or anything like that. Yes, some very complicated, complex craters, a couple weird rock formations, yes, but nothing that we can say for definite that is, A.K.A moon base. What is your thoughts on it?
Well, let's talk about that. When you when you look at the moon and you look at the objects on the moon that people say are moon bases or dishes or radar installations or domes or whatever, that's the noise amid the signal, okay? Because the people that are saying that are just looking at pictures and saying, I think that's this. They're not doing it based on any knowledge, based on any expert opinion other than it looks like this. There's tons of that. I get that all the time. Mm-hmm. But if I was an alien, and there are those that argue I am,
I think so.
Yeah, see what I mean? Yeah, come on, folks, help me out here. Hey, I get no respect.
I mean, I respect the guys that are doing the moon-based research.
But they have to be doing, they get a hold of some letters, they get a hold of some little out of context snippets, which make them lead them to believe this is happening. But we don't have any proof of any of it. But let me just say this: if I was an advanced alien race, and if I was looking for other planets like my own, which I suspect they are, okay, and which I suspect ours is like theirs, because again, carbon-based creatures in this universe are pre-selected for success, because the carbon-based compounds and the building blocks of life are made by the Earth itself, delivered by comets and meteors and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it goes on and on. So if it's happened here, it's happened elsewhere. So that said, carbon-based life goes without saying it's pre-selected for success in the universe, okay? Why do I say that? Because of us. We're here, all right? Now, we only have the one template, our planet, to go by. But if another race was coming here, they would have looked for a planet like their own, which I suspect there's enough planets out there like ours with races, advanced races like ours will be, that they would look for a planet like ours. And they would see it and they'd say, hey, let's go there. That looks like an interesting place. We can see industrial pollutants in their atmosphere. We're getting some strange signals from them that are reached us. They only have to be about 100 light years out to hear them. And if they're less than that away, then that's fine. So then they show up here. Where would you go to observe us? You'd either go
backside of the moon.
Go ahead. Yeah, he'd go on the dark side of the moon. No, the dark side of the moon. There's no such thing.
That's why I said backside, Mark.
I know, the side that faces away from us, the side that, in the tidal lock situation of the moon, the side that we never see. You'd set up right there on the Terminator, just past the Terminator, so that whatever you do over there, we never see it, except LROC, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter camera, is now going up there, and it's been circling the moon and mapping it to literally 5 meter per pixel level. All right, and that's pretty good. So now we have the opportunity to actually view the backside of the moon. The quick browser, that's for you guys in the chat. Quick browser, look up the LROC, LROC, Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter Camera, LROC Quick Map. And when you go into the Quick Map, you can zoom in all the way to 5 meters per pixel accuracy.
And they're mostly like TIFF images, right?
Well, they're actually whatever their maps are. They're you don't start to see any. It's very high res. You don't start to see any pixelation until you get right down to 5 meters.
You know how Dave Schock is launching the UFO or CubeSat for disclosure thing.
Yeah.
And he was talking about cameras. That got me thinking. Why do you think we haven't put cameras, even live stream cameras, because it wouldn't actually be that hard when you think about it, with the stuff that we have accomplished? Why haven't we put, say, 3 small, relatively small, cameras in a delta configuration around the moon? That way we could actually have a live stream of the backside of the moon at all times. And you know what I mean by, you have the one camera behind the moon at a certain distance away, and then you have, one camera, pretty far out to the right side, pretty far out to the left side, and that way you could always maintain, satellites, that you could always maintain a connection with Earth and actually feed live video back.
Yeah. By the way, I just have to correct something, and I'll answer that question, what I think. I said 5 meters per pixel. I meant half a meter, 0.5 meters per pixel. I'm sorry, I screwed that up. I was talking too fast.
It's too late now. You're not forgiven.
Oh. but at 0.5 meters per pixel, it means that you can see rocks that are literally 2 feet across on the moon. Okay, just about 2 feet across.
And
right?
you'll spend hours once you go to that site. You'll spend hours.
Oh, you
looking at those
will.
images.
Yeah, and you can actually select in the drop-down list. I'm trying to. I'm actually going to go on there now. Hold on, let me get there. Let me see. I want to see the far side.
So while you do that,
Yes.
I'm going to say we should start a GoFundMe and put some damn satellites around the moon so we can have a live stream of the backside of the moon at all times. What do you think? Thank you very much. Let's do it.
I was going to talk to you about that. The only issue with that is that there's an obvious one that you may not be thinking of, and that is that whatever we have on the backside of the moon, we're not going to see. And the reason is because we don't have any relay stations to send that signal to us. It would have to get stored up and
That's
sent.
what those 3 satellites are for. You put one behind the moon.
Yeah.
You put one out to the right, far away, where it can maintain contact with the camera and the satellite behind the moon, and you put one on the left. So no matter where it is, you will always have a constant connection and beam that signal back to Earth because Earth would be in your view. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it would have to orbit. It'd have to be in a lunar orbit. It couldn't just sit out there. It has to be in an orbit.
So put it in a lunar orbit.
All
Put it
three
in a
would have to be
stationary. I don't know. Put it in a freaking
Moon.
Enterprise.
All right. Well, I get the point. I mean, and the point is well taken. There is a Lagrange point between the Earth and the Moon.
I mean, we could
Okay,
find a
but
way to
that's-
relay it, right?
Yeah, but it would have to be saved data that was transmitted later. And then, of course, you have the power budget you have to worry about for the satellite. And of course, that much data, if you have to save data, I mean, the moon's not really that small, There's a lot of moon surface that would have to be covered before you can actually probably even see those relay satellites.
Right, but here's what bothers me. We have how many rovers on Mars? And yet
Well,
we still
have
don't
Curiosity, Opportunity, we have
Right.
Pathfinder, yeah.
And we still, we've been to the moon. Now, you mean to tell me in this day and age that seeing the backside of the moon and what's going on there on a constant basis is not a priority? Especially since that's probably the first place we're going to go?
Oh, I don't think that's necessarily a problem. I think that the data is there. I just think that it's a matter of getting it online is probably a problem. Because the backside of the moon is actually peppered with far more craters than the near side.
Yeah, not to mention Tycho's twin.
You're right. I mean, the reason it's peppered like that is because it's on the outside. It's in that tidally locked outside range. So anything coming from farther out in the solar system, which was a more highly likely event, would pummel that backside pretty fiercely. The near side ended up. It's weird because the near side ended up with all the lava seas, basically the Marias.
Is that because of its approximation to Earth, you think?
You know what? That's it. In terms of the morphology of how the moon formed, the moon was pretty homogeneous in the beginning anyway, and it was all molten. And then as it began to cool, it got struck by a whole bunch of things. As you can see, obviously. However, why don't we have the Maria on the backside as we see them on the front side? Now, is that because of Earth? I think it is. I think it has something to do with Earth. I think that the impacts that struck the front side of the moon probably had a higher impact speed. And that could have been because of the Earth's presence, whipping them and moving them around, or it's Earth's gravity assisting in increasing their speed so that they would actually strike with far more energy and create flood basalts on the surface of the moon that cooled slower, and made these seas like we see them.
Well, do you think a lot of the mare being on this side almost kind of supports a collision?
Not necessarily, because I think that when the moon was first made, the moon had a rotation of its own, and it got tidally locked later. And so the tidal locking wasn't immediate. That was later. So that's when it settled into a final orbit. Now, as it is, the moon is moving away from us to like 2 centimeters a year. So that's kind of cool that it's actually that way. That it's moving away from us. So and it has to do with the tidal bulge. It has to do with the interaction with gravity. I mean, there is, the LROC has mapped the whole backside of the moon. And so that is available, and we can look at it. So, but you have to get to the LROC site to see it.
So the primary place that they want to put a moon base, per se, that a lot of people are talking about, right around the south pole of the moon.
Yeah. Because there's going to be water down there, probably.
Right, and there was just an article that came out.
Hey, wait! I got to say it. Sorry, I got to make sure I say it. No one's going to quote me saying there's water on the moon. I'm saying there's water locked up in the minerals on the moon. This is proven scientific fact, okay? And it's in the permanent shadow areas on the moon.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, anyway, the South Pole is going to be a prime location for any kind of base. Now, is that because of the fluctuation between light and dark to give you more of a consistent temperature per se than what it would be? Explain to me why the South Pole craters, besides the water factor,
well, the water factor's
prime area.
Well, the water factor is huge because we're going to put beings down there, people.
It's huge, but it's not the only factor.
Well, it does dictate quite a bit about where you're going to put your moon base. If you can actually extract water from the regolith and soils nearby in the shadows, that's important. So in lunar highlands, where you have permanent shadow capabilities here and there, and potential water, well, you want to be there. So that is definitely a big one. Now, what else could it be? Well, in some of those areas, potentially, the way when the moon's differentiated after it was cooling, the differentiation is where the heavier elements, when a planet or a moon is molten, they tend to sink toward the center. That's called differentiation, and the lighter ones stay near the top. It's possible that in the early with the early moon, maybe the spin of the moon in some way created an area in the southern part of the moon where the minerals were actually more rich or something. And that's a possibility. I'm literally on that. I'm just speaking out of my butt on purpose because I don't know. I just think that's an interesting thing to research as a possibility.
Has the LROC imaged the poles of the moon?
Yeah, there's a North Polar and a South Polar map. In fact, on the U.S. On the Astro website, where I'm a member of that, it's the U.S. Geological Survey. The Astro website allows you to look at the North Polar maps and the South Polar maps, and then you can actually get digital terrain models, which is what I do. So I print out on a 3D printer of the Moon, Mars, Vesta, Pluto. I've got several plates of Pluto here that are absolutely knockouts of the Pluto surface, which are just incredible. Pluto has such a strange surface, and we'll talk about that some other time, I guess. But you can actually see these poles, on the LROC site, and on AstroWeb you can actually go look at them, and then download data for them. So the moon has actually been pretty thoroughly vetted, but you keep in mind that LROC. I don't know if anybody in the chat actually saw the article I wrote on Facebook about, why can't Hubble see the lunar landing sites? I kind of went through and explained the whole thing. I did just the tiniest bit of math to illustrate why, the Hubble can't do it, because the maximum resolution of the camera.
Did you put that post out just because so many people are going, you mean to tell me? Hold on, let me do my impression. You mean to tell me that Hubble can see a galaxy thousands of light years away, but can't see the moon right in front of its face? Yes, that's exactly what we're telling you.
That's exactly why I wrote it, because I just wanted people to know that that was the case. I wanted people to see, and say, hey, that's the truth, man. That's what it is. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. And I wrote in that article, I said, if you don't science, I won't listen.
Yeah. And I should tell people, anybody that knew that's listening in the chat, no, we cannot zoom in on the Apollo sites here. You cannot see it from pretty much any. No, I'm going to say right now, you can't see it from any land-based telescope on Earth unless they combine a lot of them together and turn it into a composite telescoping thing. And even then, you're only going to get it down to maybe a pixel.
And they have to use what are called AO systems, which are called adaptive optics systems. And those are ones where there's multiple mirrors that make up a single telescope mirror. Yep. And they fluctuate at in a microscopic manner. Literally, it's vibration, and it negates the atmospheric turbulence.
Right.
It's really heavy on the mathematical algorithm to figure that out.
Right.
Now, as far as seeing the Apollo landing sites, let's take an example like Apollo 12. Right. When Apollo 12 landed, it was about 120 feet from a crater called Head Crater, H-E-A-D. And you said head.
Yeah, he said head.
So, Head Crater, who was that, by the way? Head Crater was 120 feet from the lunar module where it landed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that distance would be well within a single pixel on the Hubble, on a typical Hubble, highest res Hubble image, and that's the astronomical, the advanced camera for surveys on the Hubble telescope. Okay, so the ACS, advanced camera for surveys, it's got the highest res. That's the only one that could have seen it, and it would still be well within a pixel. All right, so in other words, the size of that distance of 120 feet, as seen from the Hubble. All right, with the moon 240,000 miles away, mean distance, would have been like 0.002 arc seconds in size, and the Hubble could only get down to, at best, 0.05, perhaps 0.03 arc seconds. Right. So it's between 8 and 15 times smaller than that the distances from the lunar module to the nearby crater feature 100 feet away from the lunar module were. So that's really, in a nutshell, why we can't see these things. And that's the way it is.
I did a video probably about a year back or so where I pretty much explained. I mean, that whole area of Apollo 11 is like less than 1/10 of a mile. The whole area itself.
Yeah, and Apollo 11. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to make the point that that is basically the span between the east and west wing of the White House. And for how far away we are, I mean, yeah, it looks like even when we're zooming in on craters, it looks like we're so close. We're not. All right, we're not nowhere near close. So I did basically pull the scope back and basically showed it was basically the east and west wing of the White House is where the whole Apollo 11 area is about the same size. And then I went to a crater that was up around that area and showed that the crater was like 6 miles across. And I placed the little yellow line at 0.08 miles in that crater, and you could barely see it.
Yep.
Like, it's just, it's just impossible. I don't know.
Well,
as many times as we we explained it, we still get them.
And if you want to actually see this in true detail, when you go to the LROC site and you learn how to use the LROC Quick Map browser, there's a drop down that is called featured sites or featured locations, and they're color coded, and you'll see the landing sites are like orange. All right, and they use orange for another thing too, so you just have to kind of look around. If you go to Mare Tranquillitatis and you look at the Apollo 11 landing site, you can zoom in, and get the high-res view of the Apollo 11 landing site. You can even see the shadow of the American flag, okay, that they planted.
Yep.
But that's about it. Now, the shadow was drawn out and lengthy, so that's why you can see it. You could see that the descent module, the descent stage of the lunar module left behind. And you can see some tracks. For instance, starting with Apollo 12, you can actually see the tracks that they walked around as they headed to these different craters. And this is on the LROC Quick Map. You can zoom right in and see them. And there they are, and then you can actually get an idea of the scale. And this gives you the reason. You can see now when you zoom in, the best Paul can do. Okay, when he zooms in, when you then look at the quick map, you see just how much farther you really do have to go to see this, to see these landing sites. And so the LROC is by far the best to date resolution of the moon that we have available to us.
And I will say this right now, just for everybody in the chat, we will probably be wrapping up in the next 5-10 minutes. We kind of lost the moon. There are some high top clouds over the Everglades, and we kind of lost it there. He's going to jump back over to Saturn just to take another peek at that real quick. But yeah, we're probably going to wrap up probably in the next 5 minutes or so. But I definitely want to thank you for joining me, Mark, once again.
Yeah,
it's always
of course.
nice just sitting back and shooting the breeze, and without a plan or anything. We always find something to talk about.
Well, it's like still cloudy here, so I wasn't going to stream.
Yeah.
It's too bad. I love my streams, but I can't do them.
But once again, I should mention that Bill, New York Skywatcher, is live, and I'm pretty sure some mods can post a link to his channel in the chat. If you guys want to continue on with some astronomy tonight, Bill is live over on his channel.
Yeah, and he has a clear sky right now, beautifully clear. So that's heading to me. Yahoo!
Yeah. So you never know. If it's what, around midnight, you still might go for it, or.
Well, I'm not going to stream, but I am going to go out and go out there and just get my fix. I got to fit. Look, I have a drug problem. It's called the sky.
Yeah, just don't be out there bending the spoon in a.
No, that's not me.
That's your fix, man.
Yeah, my fix is Milky Way. That's my fix.
And once again, I should also mention astroimaginglive.com, which is where you can see all 3 streams, whether one of us is going or all 3 of us is going. It does have its own chat box there. And once again, it's usually you don't have to moderate it as much, because the people that are going to the site are the people that actually want to be there and not just kind of find it, scrolling YouTube.
Right.
Just want to troll. Right. So. Yeah, and you might get a funny nickname when you go in there. It's kind of a weird chat, but nonetheless, it still is a chat, and feel free to use it. I do have to update my link in there so my live stuff comes around. So thanks for letting me know that. I thought I did have the right one in there, but now.
Yeah, apparently I don't either.
Really?
So yeah. Well, I just looked, and I'm doing a moon stream right now. It's like no.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, from where? From the daytime side or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. So once again, that's astroimaginglive.com.
Astroimaginglive.com.
Yep, it is up and running, and you can check it out. Once again, there's a chat box there. I'm there. Mark's there. Bill, New York Skywatcher's there. And once again, Bill is live right now.
Right.
Mark, do you have an agenda for your next stream that you're thinking of?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to do what I call a potpourri of astronomy. We're going to actually just look, because the moon is still early in its cycle, we're going to look at anything that is in primary position. So we call it the astronomical potpourri, and it's going to be really cool. We're going to check everything out that we can see: galaxies, planetary nebulae, star clusters,
nice.
The like. Yeah, and we might even do some, piggyback-mounted wide-angle views of the sky and take photos of those, like we did last time. And I'm actually working on a way, like I said before, so we can actually do some image processing of these images right after we take them.
Nice.
I installed some hardware actually in the dome to do that.
And once again, you can get these images. You uploaded them to Facebook, some of the images that you actually do on the stream.
That's correct. And what I do is I put them up there in 2 forms. I put them up to processed, and then I put up some of the raw, and that's on the Sky Tour Livestream companion Facebook site.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, once again, I want to thank you, Mark, for joining me. Well,
sure.
We'll be doing this again, obviously.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And
good to be here.
Guys, I'll let it go for another couple minutes, and then I'll end it. Thanks to the mod. Thanks for everybody that joined us tonight. Once again, we'll be back at it tomorrow, and Saturday, and Sunday. And as long as we got clear skies, we'll be going for this moon cycle. And the streams get longer and longer as the moon waxes more and more bright for us. But
exactly.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow night. So thanks, everybody. We'll check you out later.
Awesome. See ya.